Hello, I'm here to analyze the Week 5 match between Ginny and Dean. This was an interesting one. Right off the bat, Ginny gets a little lucky with a Focus Blast miss. That being said, that's how it goes. And then gets lucky again with a Will-O-Wisp miss, kind of forcing Dean to use another turn, wisping. So this was immediately a pretty big mistake. When you see the wisp, Dragonite can't set up anymore here. We need a swap. So this was wrong, right? We probably should be going to Hydreigon, who doesn't hate being burned like that, but anyway. So Dragonite accomplishes very little, and is now burned, which is like basically being dead, right? So don't love this play. And then Dean makes a really good pivot into Fortress, basically just guaranteeing the kill. Really nice heads up move there. Basically just knowing that you have the kill on the Dragonite, basically forcing, meaning the Dragonite makes no progress, which is obviously really bad. We see Suicune come in a situation that doesn't... Why does Suicune come in here? We just need to be going Mew here. It doesn't really make any sense to me to go Suicune against Rotom Wash. And then we Calm Mind when Ferrothorn is full HP. And then we rest. Yeah. And then we stay in. Yeah, I just don't like this sequence at all from Jenny. None of it makes any sense. I don't know why we're going Suicune here. Makes no sense to me. We should go to Mew here, right? Because this can't really threaten. And also Mew doesn't take super effective damage. And then immediately, we need to go back to Hydreigon here. But I guess we didn't recognize the importance of Hydreigon. And then, we could have had this really awesome matchup where, because if Hydreigon and Ferrothorn come in on the same turn, it's a really fun game of chicken. Because this should be Hydreigon, right? And it's this fun game of chicken where Dean has to flip a coin, and if Dean loses the flip, he almost loses the game. But you give Dean just 5 free turns here. And let me explain why this coin flip that I'm talking about. So you have this 50-50 between Draco Meteor and Fire Blast. And Draco Meteor, the only good move against it is staying in. Versus Fire Blast, staying in is terrible. It also just loses the game. I don't know if it's actually necessarily truly a 50-50. Like I'd have to think a little bit more about like what the true Nash equilibrium is, but like the point is you can kind of separate Dean's potential moves into just two buckets, which is just the switches and just staying in, and Jenny can just kind of press one of those two without any risk. And you, even if Dean guesses right, which he might not, it's still fine. It's like, you know, hitting Ferrothorn with a Choice Specs Hydreigon is still great progress. So yeah, I think that just like fundamentally we're like just not using the team correctly here. Where for some reason Hydreigon has only entered once and is full HP, and Dragonite, and same with Metagross, and Dragonite is dead, and Suicune is asleep, and Mamoswine is also full HP. So like they're just like fundamentally the pieces have been used wrong here. Just in the wrong order, because like the way that this team works is Mew gives you utility, right? Kind of fills in, maybe gets you a heal, provides you some status support, provides you rock support, or whatever. And then the role of every other Pokemon on this team is offensive. And specifically, the role of these Pokemon is either to break or to clean. Dragonite and Suicune are cleaners, and they are dead. And our breakers are full HP. And this is, I guess, like the big lesson from this one, is the importance of sequencing your breakers versus your cleaners. Your breakers need to get used before your cleaners. Like, if your breakers are the only thing left on your team, you can't win. Because they just don't have the, like, kind of overwhelming potential that the cleaners do if they enter in the right scenario. They don't turn the game into an end game. Like, they just force a lot of progress. They don't necessarily win on the spot. And we have not forced any progress versus Dean at this point, right? Like, we killed Hoopa on turn 1, and then we have made 0 progress, and it's turn 11. And so I just think about that, right? Like, that makes... So not only have we made 0 progress, our Dragonite is dead. Which is like, how is this possible? But it somehow did happen. So you just need to... And the way that it did happen is because you didn't sequence correctly. The way you use these Pokemon. Like, Mamoswine in the lead should just attack. Just like the end. Pretty much. Like, maybe you can save it at like if as like a sack for later. But like, you know, it should get rocks up. And then, which first of all, super important versus Dean's comp here. I don't know how we have made it 12 moves into the game and rocks aren't up. But, and we have 2, you know, and we've had the rock setter enter, but, you know, this doesn't make any sense. So just kind of mistakes all around, I would say, with regards to the way the pieces are moving. And now, you know, Mamoswine doesn't accomplish anything. I guess it kills Hoopa, but like Hoopa is like, literally this team doesn't care about Hoopa at all. Like, the fact that Dean has lost Hoopa does not matter. like remotely. Hoopa is completely useless here. Like I'm actually kind of shocked that Dean brought it. I like maybe it was like a specific calc thing where it's like Dean was like, okay, I know Jenny is going to lead Mamo and press rocks, and I know that Hoopa Focus Blast, like let's say it's Choice Specs Focus Blast guaranteed kills. Like maybe that was like the specific idea of Hoopa, and then he got unlucky and Hoopa doesn't do anything because it's just like, oh, because if that works, it's really good. Anyway, I'm kind of ranting here, but like the point is that we haven't accomplished anything in 13 turns, right? Garchomp's at 100% HP. Rotom Wash is at 88. Ferrothorn's at 100. Manectric's at 100. Talonflame is at 100. And we're 14 turns into the game, and we're an offense team. So, yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, the game is pretty much over at this point. Like, I don't want to say it's like, it's there. You can't win. Now we do find a good Hydreigon angle, but like losing Dragonite like that is just like that is really truly the game losing blunder is like the way that Dragonite gets deployed here, where it's like we luck out, and so it's like not that bad that we stay in, but it's pretty bad. It's not, you're not accomplishing that much. First of all, Dragonite isn't coming in on turn 2 and sweeping and winning the game against Dean. we should expect that for sure. Like Dragonite can enter against a chipped Ferrothorn or against a chipped Talonflame, and they can't really threaten it, and then it will get a free turn and threaten to win the game, right? That's like in a perfect world how Dragonite gets deployed. Dragonite can come in against certain Rotom sets, right? But shouldn't come in blind against Rotom for this specific reason. Because in case the Rotom is Will-O-Wisp, which we probably should be expecting if it's brought, that it will be Will-O-Wisp, given the fact that we have Metagross, Mamoswine, and Dragonite on our team. But anyway, and once we see the Will-O-Wisp and lose the Lumberry, Dragonite needs to retreat. Dragonite does not just sit here and Dragon Dance in Rotom's face, because this is such a good exchange for Dean here. Essentially, Rotom just 1v1's Dragonite, which is a terrible, terrible outcome. And then we kind of flounder around. We don't find the right angles to get Hydreigon and Metagross in, which is fine. I mean, but the point stands of sequencing your breakers correctly and breakers versus cleaners correctly, and like having a coherent game plan, like using your Pokemon with a purpose, not just, oh, I think this could be necessarily a good matchup. Like, I mean, of course, usually the purpose of a Pokemon is its good matchup, but with your team, Jenny, that's not necessarily true. Like, the purpose of your Pokemon is to kill things. That is the purpose of literally all of them. Anyway, I don't know why Mew is switching out. Oh, I see. Okay. This actually... okay, no, I don't know why Mew is switching out versus Ferrothorn. That one doesn't make any sense. Like, what? Okay, I guess it's fine, but I would have really liked to have just seen the rocks get pressed. Because then, if you press rocks here, this is fine. But I do prefer rocks if Mew has rocks, which it should. You should probably be running double rocks. I don't remember exactly what your set that you were using was. Uh, Dean doesn't have a good way to get rid of them, and actually they do make just like inherently a ton of progress immediately. Anyway, Draco is still good. This is fine. This is a good result. Like, of course. And then this is interesting. We have an invisible Suicune. But yeah, Suicune's useless, right? Because of the way that we used it here. Which I was just harping on, so I won't reiterate it. But it just came in too soon, right? When Dean's whole team was full health. Not how this needs to get used. This is fine. We break Pharaoh, which is good, but, you know, here I would have liked to have seen kind of like a bit of a risky play, predicting either a U-turn or a Brave Bird, and not a Flare Blitz. Like, basically just calling out Dean, even though it's of course possible, taking a risk, switching the Steel type into the Fire type, because U-turn is a little uncomfortable. I don't understand the Toxic at all. Maybe it was something specific with what we were testing, but this move seems really bad. Maybe I should have been more critical of the team you were using when we were testing. I was perhaps too focused on your gameplay, which I think you played much better in that environment. But I think it's pretty clear here that we're a little bit just underprepared. I mean, yeah, I don't really know why this went this way either. But again, I mean, the game is really hard. It's not completely lost from this position, but you should have not ice punched here, right? This is again going back to the concept of the mid ground, where we should really not be expecting Dean to stay in versus the Mega Metagross. We should be expecting him to switch out, and when we switch out, I don't know for sure. I don't remember the exact moveset, but probably we should just be Meteor Mashing or Zen Headbutting. I don't remember the exact moveset. But anyway. I don't think you should stay in. I think you should use a priority move here. And then Dean's just able to, the game's over at this point. So, a lot of mistakes, Jenny. A lot of mistakes. Not terrible, but I don't think that Dean's team was particularly well equipped to deal with your team. And you made a ton of mistakes, and Dean played very well. And so it's like you won in the prep phase, right? and then you couldn't convert. So there's another angle to analyze this. How to win when you get beat in the team builder. But anyway, I've been talking for 20 minutes here. This is a really big analysis for 28 moves, but I have something to say about a lot of the turns here and a lot of the concepts. It's a very instructive game. You didn't play... I feel like I've perhaps been too critical, because I've said that you made a lot of mistakes, because you did, but also you made a lot of good moves as well. And I think you brought a very solid team. It just wasn't executed quite cleanly enough. So that's my takeaway. Hope that you find this helpful, Jenny.